Can you share a little bit about yourself and the type of shoulder pain you were experiencing before working with us?
Right. So, I mean, so let's go back that I have a replacement in my left shoulder,
Left shoulder, yep.
and I've gone recently in the last 2 years to a orthopedic surgeon where now they're giving me shots of cortisone.
Yeah,
And he just said they just changed the rule on it. It used to be every 6 months, now it's every 3 months.
yeah.
And he kind of has alluded to the fact there's not much left for me to do. He's like, Joe, if you're getting results from cortisone, that's all you're going to get. So I looked for you because of that. I'm kind of stuck that I don't want to be, sitting waiting for another replacement when I'm really not satisfied with this replacement.
Yeah.
And he's told me since then, he's like, hey, we've stopped doing a lot of shoulder replacements because they're not as effective as knees.
Mhm.
And he said, so, you really just have to deal with it, kind of. So I called you because I wanted to see how this PT thing worked for me personally. Now, that's the reason I committed myself to do every workout every day for 3 months.
Absolutely.
And I promise you, I didn't miss one.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you, when I started, it was more important to me to finish than to do it right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I wanted to get 10 reps, and I did my 10 reps, and I wasn't doing so fast, but at the end of the session, yeah, I could see that whatever I was doing, I was really slowing down and trying to feel the movement in that shoulder,
Yeah.
which was great. I mean, as I did that, I got better results.
Talk to me a little bit about sleep, where you were at before and where you're currently at from a sleep perspective with the shoulders.
Well, I had my left shoulder replaced because I'm a side sleeper. And side sleepers, you got to do something. You really. My wife would tell you that I wrestle when I sleep. I'm rolling. I'm not comfortable. I have a hard time really getting comfortable. So I got the cortisone shots so I could make it easier to just do this. But you know, I couldn't fall asleep, and it took me a while to fall asleep. And I went through gummies. I have a prescription from the doctor that I really try not to take,
Yeah.
really, because it just kills me the next morning.
Yeah.
I'm just falling asleep. I can't seem to get out of the fog if I take a pill. But so I had to take all this stuff to fall asleep. And since I've been doing your stuff, I don't do any of it. I'm telling you right now, I go to bed at 10 o'clock and I wake up at like 3 o'clock. So I get 5 hours of power sleep. And because of my watches, either my iWatch or the other one, I know I'm doing more REM and I'm doing better in the quality of the sleep, right? That's really what I'm not as freaked out that I can't fall back to sleep. I can feel my body, and my left shoulder is not as difficult as it was when I started. And that's 100%. I
Yeah.
mean, and again, that's another reason I took this process on. And you can remember when I started, my wife thought I was a little bit kind of off the cuff. She said, "What are you doing? Who is this guy? What are you doing?" I
Right.
said, "Honey, we don't have any choice. With arthritis, I don't have a whole lot of choices. I might as well try this
Yeah.
and overly commit myself to it." And that's really what I think I did. Again, you asked about push-ups. I can do push-ups on my toes now. I still do what do you call it? I want to say decline. It's incline push-ups.
Yeah.
So I do on the stairs. I go up to the third step and I can pump them out there. And that just makes sense. I'm not trying to do anything stupid.
Yeah.
You know, um,
Let me ask you this, because I know you've worked with physical therapy in the past, like when you had that shoulder replacement. How do you feel like these exercises compared to like what you received previously?
well, I would tell you that, so let's go to my knees because I've had both of them replaced. You got to go to PT, and then my shoulder. But when I went for my shoulder, she said, see if you can do the spider up the wall and down the wall. And then she said, I'll be back in 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, where are you going? I mean, it was so simple. And I understand them. They have, like you talk about your patients. I mean, the typical patient is not me. I'm really looking for, this is going to sound dumb, sweat. I'm looking to get to that edge of pain, and every one of your things said stop if you find pain. And I, if I don't find pain, that's why I asked you about some of the other things. I know what they're doing, but if it doesn't impact my shoulder, I kind of don't enjoy those as much as the other ones.
Yeah.
You know, PT to me was always too much for 80-year-old people who who don't do anything.
Right.
Now I got to tell you, I had a heart attack 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and I signed up to go to PT after that.
Yeah.
And so I had to drive an hour to get there by 8:30 in the morning to go 8:30 and 9:30, and there were like 6 people in there, and all 6 people sat in the corner and talked, and they were on this kind of bike. They really weren't working out. They were just enjoying the time. And then I was there to just get something out of it. I said, if I'm driving an hour to be here an hour, you're going to do something for me.
Absolutely.
Now, and when I was done, I get the same, you know, my attitude is if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it 100%. And
Absolutely.
that's exactly what I tried to do with yours. I really tried to not miss a session. I really tried at the last, and this is what I mean about beginning your process. You should tell them that
Mhm.
it's not, it's not, it's important that you do every one. What's important is that you think about it. And I tell you right now, every exercise, what it's supposed to feel like. So I'm going to tell you again,
Yeah.
PT versus what you do, this is a lot more specific, and I feel like I'm working the joint when I'm going to the University of Virginia PT, or they have one person in this area who provides physical therapy. That's not what I want, because you meet with the doctor probably once or twice. Then after that, you get a student, and that student probably has 6 people around the office. So they're like, do this for 20 minutes and I'll be back. And I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I want to do, I really enjoyed yours because I get to go to the health club and they have a separate room
Yeah.
and I can do everything, the ones that are kind of embarrassing.
What would you say to someone who's hesitant about starting a virtual shoulder rehab program like this?
I would tell them that, first of all, the medicine side of this, they have a limited scope of assistance, meaning they're going to at some point push you towards a shot, an injection of something, and that makes you feel better. It doesn't really get you working the joint and doing what you should be doing. If you have arthritis, actually, anybody who has a torn rotator cuff, I have to believe this is big. This is just, now, this is really what you need to do. This is what professional athletes do to get back out there.
Yeah.
You have to move this thing and you have to slowly build it up. If you start too soon, you hurt it. But what we're trying to get you to do is that start slow. Don't overpain it. I
Yeah.
tell everybody from pickleball and golf that I play with, I said, I've got a PT guy on the internet. They're like, really? I said, he's in Denver though, so I have, I
Yeah.
presumed him, but that's about it. I said, what I like about it is, it's up to me, first of all,
Mhm.
and he talks to me every day.
Yep.
So every day you send me something that I know you're looking. Biggest difference between PT and this process is there's a real goal at the end, right? The goal is we have to make your shoulder stronger, and we're not going to do that by having 16 people in the room and you doing a generic exercise. This is just for you, and it's more self-directed. Even though we talk to you, it's self-directed, which is what I liked.
Absolutely, and that's where the thing comes in, man. It's the customization piece to meet the person where they're at and what their goals are, and then also being able to have the communication side to make the necessary changes along the way.
I can tell you today was a difference. Meaning, you know, bench pressing, I get stuck because the pain was too much. And no, now I can do some things that get me ready for it. Much better than I was back in January.